When is fucking Jake coming back? You know?
I don't know, man. What's Jake been up to these days,
Oh,
man?
bro.
I feel like I lost contact with Jake and shit.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. I talked to Flock. Me and Flock probably still talk every week though. But
Yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, that's my man. Uh, hopefully he can get this back in his routine. But it's like I don't know. We'll see. um,
Shit, man. What you get into this week, man?
Views from a Chair podcast are back. I'm so sober now. I'm on like week 3 of sober, and you know how much fucking time you have when you're sober.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I had to be sober when I had to take medicine. Well, I guess I wasn't sober because I was on pills.
yeah, I was getting. Come on, buddy. I mix booze and perks. Come on, grow up.
Yeah, I wasn't taking a chance. I don't know. I don't know what that does to the body. I just needed my Achilles to stop throbbing. That's all.
So I mixed the herpes and the lick. So much time when you're sober and energy. And that's the other shit I was telling you before we got on here is that the caffeine cut down.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I sleep so fucking good now, and I didn't realize that was like my issue.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it just like I just thought like maybe like I don't have too much on my mind, like it just was an easy sleeper.
Right.
Bro, I sleep through my alarms now every day. I usually wake up before my alarm. I'm sleeping like Saturday. I got the basketball invite at fucking 8:50. I didn't even make it because I didn't wake up till 9:40. Dog.
Damn.
9:40 is fucking like
Nah, that's sleep.
that's sleep. Bro, I promise you, I haven't got like less than 8 hours of sleep in 2 weeks.
I can't sleep past 7.
That's how I used to be.
Used to be 6, but since of the whole like just being out, that shit then got up to 7. But I can't sleep past 7 to save my life.
Bro, I'm knocking 7 hours, 8 hours out easy. It's a beautiful thing.
Do you feel less tired when you wake up, or?
Yeah, I don't even like. I'm probably gonna kick caffeine altogether. Well, I'm telling you, I'm going through caffeine withdrawals, so I'm getting headaches.
Mm.
But I'm gonna try and kick caffeine altogether in like maybe a month or two. I was telling you, I was doing 3 caffeine drinks a day. Like whether it be
three energy drinks in a day is insane.
whether it be coffee, energy drinks, I was doing 3 a day. I was doing one when I woke up, one like noon, one, and one at like 5 o'clock. That's so fucking bad for you.
Yeah, I've never been a coffee guy. I always wanted to be a coffee guy, but I just can't get into the taste. I don't see how people do it.
I like coffee.
But energy drinks, I was definitely max. I was doing 2 in the morning, just to hyper the shit. The first one, like a double shot or some shit. But after I started getting headaches, because I would drink them, and then when I needed to, when I didn't, then I get a headache, and I'm like, oh shit, this shit fucking me up. I'm off these shits. But as far as coffee, like I never. I tried. I wanted to partake in the Starbucks. I go to Starbucks for tea, not coffee though.
Well, that was the shit too. It really wasn't doing anything for me.
Mm.
I'm drinking and it's not like I'm wired. Like I'm drinking it and still, bro. There'd be times where I'd be like, "Yo, I need to pull all nighter." Like not all nighter, but I need to stay up late, get this done, or I really want to finish this painting or something. And I drink a fucking Red Bull at 9 o'clock. I'd be asleep by 10:30.
I will say when you don't drink them is when they work. I will say that. So I guess they are like I guess used as necessary type of drink, but I guess it's an addictive thing as well. So once we drinking them for a week straight, we be hooked. But I will say when I don't drink one for a while and I drink one, oh, it's on. It's on.
I'm trying to cut all that shit out.
I ain't mad at that. Healthy living, man.
As I spark those yak.
Well, there you go.
I'm cutting down on my yaks. I'm down on this. I'm down on caffeine. I was gonna not eat out at all this month, but I slipped up twice, and both times I was with kids. It's hard to not eat out when you're with the kids.
Yeah, if you don't bring them to the house, yeah.
I live in Philly, so I'm coming down to Delaware to get the kids and shit. I'm bouncing around. It's not like I'm coming back to Philly to cook.
You ain't about to pack lunch for them.
Yeah, exactly. Like, motherfucker, we're gonna go to Chick-fil-A, and I'm not gonna watch y'all eat. The fuck?
Right? Hell no. Hell fucking no.
Like, come on, dog. I'm
hell fucking no. Smiling that shit. Everybody walking by smiling. Fuck out of here.
Come on, dog. I'm motherfucking took care of Chick-fil-A. This motherfucker got free ice cream. I was hating.
Oh my
These
gosh,
kids get free ice cream. Like, fuck that ice cream up.
that's a come up right there.
Nah, this weekend I didn't really do shit, bro. I'm sober. I got so much time on my hands. It's just been like I did more laundry than I ever did. I had so much time. I reorganized my closet. I hung up my jeans for a second. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Mhm.
It's just so much time. I picked Ari up, went to Vince's. It was good times, you know?
Nice, man.
Good times.
Sound like an old head weekend. I ain't do too much either. Yesterday I did go to a high school basketball game, which was interesting. Very frustrating to watch. Makes you want to coach. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I've never wanted to coach, but watching I can't coach little kids though. I can't lie. But watching the high schoolers, I was like, oh, they just need a coach, a young coach. That's all they need. Cause it's so frustrating to watch these people. But there was actually a girls' game. It was a good game, winning the OT and everything. So I was into it, but it was definitely frustrating to watch. I'm like, damn, should I be out there extending my hand to these young kids? I don't know. Maybe something to look forward to. I don't know.
I'm in.
I don't know if I got the patience, but it seemed like it'll be a fun thing to do and keep me close to the game.
I'm in whenever you want to do it.
But yeah, I ain't. Other than that, I ain't really getting into too much. Football weekend was exciting. Crazy shit going on, but yeah, man, another chill weekend for me.
I would love to coach. It would be a beautiful experience.
What's that?
Just coaching. I always get that vibe when I go to the games and shit. Like, yeah, like especially when you see like how some of the coaches are, and it's like, yeah, like that's not at this level.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a stud athlete on there, like your job's to kind of build him up for the next level.
Mm.
It's not really about like being a fucking asshole so you can get some high school. Like, yeah, let's win. I definitely want to win, but like, yeah, like there's more important shit to teach the kids than fucking yelling at them and doing all this knucklehead.
Yeah, I'm literally watching the game. Both teams. Well, one team got a star player that couldn't get off, hit a big three in the fourth. That was all she scored all game. And then the other team was like a system ran team, but they running the same fucking play. So it was frustrating to watch. And I'm just like, if you put 2 or 3 plays in and give them different options, which they probably got, maybe they're not disciplined, I'm not sure, but it just seemed like something that could be fixed so simply. And I'm just like, gosh, this is like so frustrating to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, man. I was gonna go into my notes to see. Oh, dude, I'll get my tangent off early on. So anyway, so I was going through my Insta memories, and my buddy Mark's little Obed thing popped up today. I was like, wow, it's been 5 years, right?
Yep.
So rest in peace to Mark, but that's not the tangent I was going to go on. I mean, that is sad. It's crazy that it's been 5 years. It's unfortunate. Mark was a really good friend of Kate's. He was his best friend in high school, so I knew him pretty well. But I thought, like, we were fucking assholes when we were younger. And not you specifically, but, like, more so, like, me and my group. And, like, how
me and my group.
Yeah, like, and not even just me and my group, but, like, kids in general and how, like, unforgiving they are. Or even as a society, like, how unforgiving.
They the same. I was at the game. I'm like, yo, these kids will make you not like people. Like they obnoxious, they assholes, they talking about the ref. It's just so it's very like, damn, this is high school. And it's like this is really how kids are.
I was thinking like more to the aspect of like Mark was a nice kid. He ended up pushing the boundaries a bit with drugs, little like mind altering shit. So he started acting like a little freaky, like a little weird, right? Like started doing like little nut shit. And we like shamed him for it. Like everybody was like, and that's kind of how we were taught that. Like if somebody does snake shit or somebody like what you think is snake shit or weird shit, you kind of say like, fuck them, fuck off. Like I'm not fucking with you. Like you cut them off. You don't tolerate that shit. You never like stop and go like, what the fuck's going on over there? You know, like, yeah, what the fuck is happening? Why is he acting like this? Why is he doing it? And years later, you kind of figure out he's struggling with a bunch of different shit.
Right.
He came out of his hiatus and whatnot, and I talked to him because he stayed friends with Chris. But I remember like him going off on like this fucking Twitter rant and everybody being like, yo, he's crazy. Like this shit's crazy. Like he's losing it. Like, and we're all geeking, making jokes like, man, fuck you. Like, blah, blah. I'm like, that was scumbag shit.
Right.
He's obviously going through some mental shit. We're all just jumping to be like, yo, he's crazy. And yeah, he's like, he was saying some wild shit and he was coming at everybody. But obviously he's going through like a mental breakdown.
Right.
know?
I mean, looking at it from what you said so far, I mean, I feel like this generation may be a little different because look at all the mental health information that they got
Yeah.
and how big of a thing mental health is nowadays. I didn't know we had a damn counselor at high school. I didn't know you could just go to the counselor in high school.
Well,
That's
that's
not something that was promoted, at least in my high school.
it's very interesting to look at shit like now through the eyes of like being able to mature and like being a 31-year-old and seeing like that aspect of how you handle shit at 19, 20. And you go like, wow, I was mad insensitive. And like, you're so self-absorbed at that age.
I feel like you gotta be to an extent. Like you literally figuring yourself out. Like, okay, am I gonna go this way? Am I gonna go that way? Do I laugh at this? Do I not laugh at this? That's a lot of, that's where a lot of early decisions are made. Are you going to school? Are you not? Are you going to work? Are you going to be a bum? Like, what are you going to do? Like, a lot of decisions being made at that point in your life.
I think yeah, 100%. I was thinking about it just randomly. I was on the treadmill. I was thinking about it. I said, wow, like we react to shit before we think why people are acting the way they are.
For sure. I still think at our big age, we still do that. Even people older than us do that as well.
100%. Like we don't like life's so fast paced and especially going there's so much codes to stick behind, so much different shit. Oh, this motherfucker does this. Oh, you gotta cut him off. Oh, he's a clown. That's this. And you never stop to be like, what the fuck is going on over there?
Right.
Like what's happening to make a motherfucker do this? And some people do fucked up shit because they're bad people. But I don't think that's the majority either.
I mean, I'm sure majority of the people know the consequences to their actions. The extent of the consequences, I'm not sure. But as far as thinking about, I like you said, life is so fast paced. If you don't answer a question fast enough, people looking at you like, "What you ain't got nothing to say?" When you could literally just be thinking about what you got to say. But if you're not on your toes, you look out of it or slow or whatever you want to call the person. But they literally thinking before they speak. When a lot of the times people got something on their tongue, not listening to you the whole time because they waiting to say whatever they got to say, but then listen to nothing you just said the past 5 seconds because they so quick to respond with whatever was on their mind.
That's interesting too, because a lot of people think you're quiet and soft spoken.
Yeah, but I'm really I feel like I'm observing and aware of surroundings. I feel like that's more so what I'm doing. And if I am talking, I am gonna listen, think about it. And if I get passed up in my thoughts, I'm cool with that. I'll be okay. Like not joining in the conversation. I may have a thought, but if the conversation moving, I'm not about to interject with something that I was thinking about for 5 minutes and be like, yo, let's go back to that. But it is what it is.
All right, that's an interesting transition for that. Because you said something I was thinking about today as well. I was going the biggest change for last year for me was being able to like it's okay to sit alone with your thoughts.
For sure.
You can sit with your thoughts. You don't always have to share them.
You don't, but I don't. You know I don't.
You can sit with your thoughts. It's fine. Like and shit, you've known me long enough. I mean, obviously you know. Listen, if I don't know, a large portion of my life, I'd call you 6 days out of 7. You know, like 5 days out of 7, and with random shit to talk about.
Yeah,
just random shit, and like eventually you have to learn. Like you have to learn to sit with your thoughts, good, bad, and different. Like you just have to learn like to sit with them, process it. You don't have to like it's good to communicate, but you don't have to over communicate. You know?
Right. I mean, when do you feel like you came to that way of thinking or whatever it is?
Oh man, you know,
was it a specific moment? Something you told me like, why the?
Now you muted yourself. I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was like a specific like, yeah, why the fuck am I saying this? Because it's not like I mean, I call you, chop it up for we talk about basketball, regular shit people talk about. I think it was more so like a goal I came into last year. I was like, yeah, I need to not be so dependent on communication with people. And sometimes that comes across as like, as some friends took it as like, oh, like maybe they're not fucking with me or not. It wasn't bad. I'm just like, I learned how to be alone with my thoughts. And that was part of the process I wanted to go into because I don't want to be Charlemagne here and start like pushing therapy on everybody. But that was one of the things I wanted to do. I said I wanted to kind of not isolate, but take a step back from like dependent level friendships where I feel like I have to call people and do this
Mm.
and be comfortable with my thoughts before I go into therapy to start that.
I feel like if I was to go to therapy, that would definitely be one of the questions I guess I would be looking for an answer to. Not sure if they would give it to me or if they would have it, but just where it did come from to me, whereas though like I don't feel the need to have to express because I don't feel like in my childhood that I was told not to say shit or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or why I'm so observant or why I'm so laid back. Like I do wonder where it come from. I don't think there's a specific thing. Maybe the older guys around me and I just observed them and that's how they were, and maybe I just that shit rubbed off on me or whatever. But I do wonder like, well damn, I'm not the overtly yo what's up type of guy, but I can be if I got a certain type of relationship with that person.
I think I think that was the thrill of it for me.
Mm,
Did what? Like I did probably like 9 sessions over 3 months.
mm,
Um, and like I said, I don't want to be like, yo, everybody should do it. So and so. I feel a lot better now I did it. And I felt
right,
good last year. So I feel great now.
mm,
Um, but it was funny. Jake used to always say shit, and I like obviously everybody knows I've got anxiety, bad anxiety. I feel better now though.
mm,
Like you start working towards shit and like logical shit, get depressed here and there. I haven't been in a while though.
right,
Um, but Jake used to always say, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'd be like, dog, I already know what the issues are.
mm,
Why you go? And he would use the analogy, well, if you know your foot's broken, you still have to go get casted or whatever it may be.
right,
After going to therapy, I realized I didn't know my foot was broken. I knew my fucking foot hurt.
right.
I didn't know if it was broken. I didn't know if I
Bill
fucking,
on here trying to drop some bars.
what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference between like figuring out what the fuck is actually wrong and the correlation of where it's coming from. You can know you have
Right,
pain somewhere, but it doesn't really help. Like if your knee
right,
hurts, it would help to know if it's fucking broken or you tore a ligament or your
mm,
ACL sprained, and then you figure out how to address the problem.
right.
So
I
it's
feel
all
like that's the hardest part though. Like even as especially as men, how often do the majority of men even go to the damn doctor? Until something is like, oh, I know I'm about to die. Like something definitely wrong. You may have a little heart pain. You may be like, it's a little heartburn. That shit gonna wear off in 5 minutes and then go away. That shit might be a real problem. But as a man, you 9 times out of 10, we probably not going to the doctor.
yeah. And I
So
mean that's the issue though.
even with therapy, like 9 times out of 10, even if you think something wrong mentally or whatever, like, damn, I'm having this recurring thought. Why am I having this thought? I'm just tripping, whatever. We not as men taught to go seek out, I guess, validation or a reason for why you think a certain way. You just like, okay, this is just how I am, and you at some point learn to accept how you are. But like you said, it may be something broke, and you're not even thinking about fixing it because you just so used to numbing the pain.
Yeah, and I mean to that extent, like, yeah, men don't go to the doctor, and it's kind of fucked up. I'm in
Yeah.
the process of finding a new primary care one now. It's funny you say that, but like
Mhm.
that same way, if you find something out that is wrong, and that's another thing, we always assume we don't go because we kind of have that fear that something is wrong.
Mhm.
I don't want to go to the doctor and find out I'm more fucked
I
up,
mean,
and
you
I
can use
feel
the
fine.
same analogy for therapy. Like
It's
you fuck around and go and be like, damn, they're gonna tell me I'm fucked up.
exactly, and that was a big challenge for me, especially mid 20s, 25, 26. I'm over
Mm,
communicating. I'm depending on my friends. I'm calling them. I'm calling them. And I'm
mm,
calling them because I'm over communicating because I'm running from intrusive thoughts,
mm,
whether it be um, anxiety, whether it's depression, suicide. I've never been actively suicide, but I'm what you would call passive suicide. So it's like a fantasy of death.
mhm.
Like you constantly think of how your death would affect people,
Right.
what would be the play out from it, and so on. So that's intrusive thoughts. It's hard to do work and shit like that when you're thinking about like, oh, how would this react? Would that be better for this person? So and so. So you run from these intrusive thoughts by over communicating, talking to your friends. You're either drinking, you're partying. You could even do it by like being overly active with the family or
Right.
having too many friends, like having too many conversations. You have to get to a certain point where you're comfortable with your thoughts. And once you are, you kind of find the correlation of why you're having these thoughts, why you have these fears, why you're uncomfortable in these certain situations. And
Mhm.
that's really interesting when you find that out.
And I think also with the whole going to therapy situation is a lot to do also with trust. I'm not sure how you are with trust if you got a lot or don't have a lot, but I feel like for people that don't really trust a lot, how could you trust somebody you don't know with your innermost thoughts or your deepest secrets or whatever it is? You may not even share your secrets, but just your day to day thoughts, like what's going through your mind. Simple things like whether somebody you can't pay your bills or you feel like you're not, whatever it is, contributing to your family, you're not providing, you're not doing enough in life. I feel like that's also humbling at the same time to have to speak that to somebody. And I don't know if everybody's even ready for situations like that, if they could humble themselves to talk about their own self, because you're so busy living in a world that's judging everything that everybody does.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has to be like you have to go into it wanting to do it.
You have to, because
Don't
there's
know
no
what
way you
I
could
wanna
do
do.
it successfully without, I don't think.
I mean, I waited years to go into it to feel like I wanted to do it. This is what I
Mm,
want to do. I have an objection with it. This is what I want to get out of it. And you have to have some kind of level of vulnerability with
mm,
it. And for me, it was easier because it's somebody I don't know.
right,
And we've got a fucking binding legal agreement to where if you go run my business, I'm gonna sue you. But
right,
yeah, it's
right.
easier talking to a stranger to where like if
That's a fact, though.
they are judging me, I don't give a fuck. I'll never see you.
Right.
We don't hang in the same circles. We don't have anything. And that's another thing is like a lot of these issues,
Mm,
especially anxiety and shit, comes from some form of protection. Whether
mm,
like whether you realize it or not, you're protecting yourself in some aspect. A
mm,
lot of anxieties are fears, whether they're logical or not. But like once you get down to the deep part of it and you start doing these correlations of like, oh well, this is affecting me, this is this. I wish I would have went years ago.
right. I mean, not necessarily saying I don't need it. I always say the same thing, like I do want to go, but for me, it's just I don't know whether it's just me not. I don't want to waste. I feel like I'm very self aware of what's going on with me, and whether or not I want to spend that hour with that person rather than I feel like I could be doing something else. And that's maybe selfish to me,
No,
but that's like legit my reason because like I said, I feel like I'm very self-aware. I'm very comfortable in my skin. But not saying people who go to therapy aren't comfortable in their skin, because that's farthest from the truth, because you're very comfortable if you could go share shit with a complete stranger. But yeah, I think for me it'll definitely be at like an older age.
I
Maybe 35, 40 when I'm trying to slow the fuck down.
And I don't want to say like, yeah, because I'm right with you. I've always said I'm self-aware, and even my therapist was saying like, yo, you're very aware of this, that, and what I don't want to do is make it seem like you have to feel like you're in a like you're having a bad quality of life.
Yeah,
'Cause last year,
no, not at all.
last year was I don't want to say it was like I try not to do what was best year so and so. I try to make every year the best, but last year I was having a great year. My quality of life
Mm,
is wonderful.
mm,
I've been blessed with a wonderful life. I really
mm,
enjoy life. So like I don't want people to feel like you have to be in a bad spot to go either.
mm,
But it's similar to like like I don't know, man. You might be in good shape and you're like this year, I want to get a little more muscular. I want to get stronger. Like if you have that level of I want to do some kind of self improvement, then I would suggest it. And if you are in
right.
a bad spot, I would suggest it.
And not even to mention that's what my lady does, so I get enough of it. But I'm sure the extra real version, not saying it ain't real, because the stranger version of it would be a little different for me as well.
100%. And it's just like if you figure out something you want to work on. For me, last year, a big thing was like I was dating so heavy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dating, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and these people are all dope, and it's not working out for whatever reason. Usually, it's me doing something, and I'm going,
Mm,
all right, well, let me figure out why the fuck I'm doing this.
right.
And it was nice. You feel me? I got a little more correlation. Now I have to do the uncomfortable part of like actually putting it to work,
Mm.
and now I'm
So
done
what do
with
you think
that.
the hardest part is? Hearing why or putting in the work?
I think for me, it was I knew a lot of my issues were with inconsistencies and what's it called. I think realizing what I wasn't like attributing some of my issues to or who
Mm,
was troublesome.
mm,
Because as a kid, you kind of put, I don't want to say like a saint image on some people or some
for
stuff, but
sure.
like
That's
admitting
a
that
fact.
fault with some shit to go like, yo, like if not saying my mom, but like you can have a deep admiration for somebody and
Mm,
respect and love and appreciation
mm,
and still go, okay, well, this certain issue could be why I'm like this or that. And then you find out why and you try to go for it, figure it
Right.
out. But also, it's not the end all be all. Like, you find something out, like, you could say, like, all right, that makes sense, but you still have to go and
Put
like
the
put
work
work
in.
on it.
And I can definitely see how somebody could be resistant to hearing something a therapist may say, or something a therapist may say, "Oh, you got to work on this." And in your mind, you may think, "Oh, nah, why I got to work on that? I'm fine in that area." But in all reality, like you said, your shit broke, and you've been numbing it so long, you don't even feel that shit no more. So that's
And
definitely an interesting perspective on it.
from my experience, they're not going to tell you what you should work on or
Mhm.
what they'll give you suggestions. Hey,
Right.
this is maybe you want to try this, or maybe you should do that, or maybe try this exercise. And yeah, I mean, if you want to work on something, do it. I did it for 3 months. I'm done, and I'll probably do it again. I probably won't do it again until I'm in a relationship, and then I'll probably start it up again as I start to go through that process and that growth and start to realize I have these little ticks or something like that to figure it out. It's always nice to talk to somebody not directly involved because there's no bias.
Right. Especially when, like I said before, when I slow down, I definitely want probably a weekly session with whoever I choose to do that work for me, because I do want to be consistent in that. And from everything I've heard, I've never heard anybody say like, "Oh, I've had a horrible experience." I've definitely heard, "Oh, I didn't like that person, so I went into another person," or "Yeah, that person wasn't for me," or whatever. But everybody that I've heard found a stable person or a therapist they like, they keep that shit going and don't really stop.
And I mean, on the flip side of that, to backtrack what I was saying, also, like, you might not come away with it. It's not just coming away and saying, "Oh, this person's at fault," or this is why. You can also walk away with a more appreciation in
Mm,
certain people and understanding and processing. It's a lot of processing relationships and how that
right,
affects. It could even be a good relationship,
right,
maybe a too good relationship. You were spoiled by some shit, so now you're expecting different things from different people, but you're not
right,
communicating.
right. And that makes total sense. I mean, yeah, without getting too deep, I'm pretty sure everybody's experienced both sides of that, whether it's the good relationship or the bad relationship, and you spoiled by certain shit, and you just like, well, damn, you want certain shit from everybody, but you know you can't get it.
I've always had an appreciation for all feelings,
Mm,
whether they're good, bad, sad, whatever.
mm.
But understanding why you're feeling that is a nice piece of clarity that's hard to find on your own.
That makes perfect sense. Perfect way to close it out. Finding clarity is probably the most enlightening shit you could probably do in life.
100%. There's a
And
fulfillment with that.
without it, in certain situations, it could ruin your life. So, like you said, it definitely encouraging for everybody. I've been in one session in my life, can't complain about it. Didn't know the guy, never went back, but I enjoyed what I experienced and felt good telling him things that I've never told anybody in my life. Even though I sat down with the dude one fucking time, told him shit, got it off my chest, and I felt like that was the one. And it was in high school, my junior, senior year, and I felt like that was what I needed. Just got a whole bunch of shit out in like an hour, missed class and all that shit. Never went back, but I felt the weight of my world off my shoulders.
And to your point, as we wrap this, your initial point is
Mm,
think about whether it's therapy or the doctors. Has anybody ever been upset that they went too soon?
nah,
Nobody's ever upset that they went too soon. That's
no,
never a regret of anybody. Oh, fuck, I went too soon.
no,
If there is something wrong, treat it.
no.
All right, rappers are snitching.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get into the bullshit. After we get into the deep shit, let's get into the bullshit, man.
Therapy talk's over.
What is going on? I know we say stick to the code and all this, but we talking about the entertainment business. Are they taking the snitching game to
You're muted. Here's what I'm curious about, John. Do we give a fuck anymore?
on the grand scheme of things in life, we don't give a fuck. But I think the reason we give a fuck is because these guys rap this lifestyle, and we know as a, I guess, coming from certain areas, we know if you rapping about or talking about, not even rapping, just talking about living a certain life, we know the codes and everything that comes with that, whether you involved or not. you know it comes with the streets. So when people rap about the streets, you think they're gonna abide by those rules, and when they don't, it's kind of disappointing. As a fan, I couldn't imagine as a peer.
It's interesting that you said like coming from certain areas because I think that is a big part of do we care? I noticed that with the 6ix9ine shit. A lot of my friends that, not to say they were from like fucking rich neighborhoods or whatnot, but like didn't necessarily interact with like any of that kind of environment that the rap people are talking about. Didn't give a fuck that he told.
Right.
And I think our generation might be the last generation that really cares about it. Like even like if it does come out that Gunner's a cop, and he ends up jamming his mans up, I won't listen to him.
I know, man. I mean, What Happened to Virgil was one of my most played songs last year. I haven't played it since. And why? I don't fucking know. Like it's so weird because it's like you feel weird listening to it. You could be living the most straight and narrow life, but you at the same time you like, I'm not listening to this dude. Like he's rapping about this shit, but he went the other way in that situation. Okay.
And hey, I'll be transparent with this one as well. If Young Thug did everything they're saying he did, and he put hits on people's baby moms and all these innocent people got killed, and what's it called? That's a difference from killing the person you're beefing with, and he should be held accountable for it. I guess to oversimplify it is, I don't give a fuck about the snitch shit because the street code shit. I mean, I do, but to me, it's a character flaw. That's why
I mean, the older I get, the more you realize all that shit is bullshit.
All of it's bullshit.
It's not even. I can't even blame.
Mute it again.
I'm not even gonna say it's the people in that environment's fault because it's like nobody asked to be in that environment. This is all you grew up around. This is what you taught. So when you participate in those activities, I'm never blaming that person, but I'm looking at it like, damn, that's a fucked up situation. But when people voluntarily go into that environment and then you know the rules going into it and you break the rules going into it, it's like, come on, dog. Like you ain't even have to choose this, but if you're gonna choose it, play by the rules. And then when they don't, it's like, how can we feel bad for you? I think
there's a big difference between the kid that's shooting basketball at the park that witnesses a murder and testifies, and the person that knowingly benefited from the lifestyle, and now that he's catching the repercussions, tells so he gets out easier. That's a character flaw, and you're a selfish piece of shit to me.
So this ain't. I don't know what Gunner's situation is, but let's say this is Gunner's situation, hypothetical.
Gunner situation, Boston Richie situation, Spot 'em got 'em situation, whatever.
Let's say they're just say they're just entertainers. Gunner's just a rapper. Like he wasn't no whatever. He was just a rapper, and he goes to a quote unquote supposed street organization, and he gets caught up in this. But raps about the street in his raps, but isn't with it.
That's my shit.
Are we blaming Gunner for
100%.
like, why are you participating? Why are you talking about this shit if you're not doing it? And then you do this in the court system? Are we blaming him or not?
I'm blaming him because you're reaping the benefits of the persona and the lifestyle of the gang. And you want to talk about it. I'm sure you're using them to a reward. You're getting the clout from it.
Mm-hmm.
You got the enforcer of it. You've got the security of it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't reap the benefits of something you don't want to reap the repercussions from.
And I mean, one of my favorite rappers, Currency, always was like, damn, it's never. I remember a tweet one time, somebody was like, it's never no problems at a Currency show, blah, blah. Like, it's never no violence, blah, blah. And he simply replied, because I don't put that energy out. And I'm like, damn. If you think about it, the rappers that don't be talking none of that crazy shit, you may hear a line or two here, but it ain't overt. Like, you don't see them in drama like that. Like, you don't see Cole in drama, like street drama. You don't see certain artists in street drama because they don't push that narrative. And you can be successful without pushing that narrative, which I think a lot of artists fail to realize.
If you think about it, Kendrick, Cole,
Drake.
I mean, Drake gets into some shit because he talks a little spicy. Chance the Rapper was fucking top tier at one point. Like, there's plenty of rappers that if you're good at your craft, you'll make it. But like let's not be naive and say like that aspect doesn't
I mean, and you could even look at like a rest in peace Mac Miller. You stay in your lane. Go to the fans that fuck with you. You'll have a lane.
I didn't want to say
Tom Kennedys of the
because
world, the Currencies of the world, the Larry Junes, they all have a lane and they doing fine. But it feels like everybody feels like they need to divert, or not everybody, but a lot of artists feel like the street route is the only way to have a fan base, man. It's so many other rappers that do their own shit, got they solid 250,000 fans, and they will rock with them to the death.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to get involved with. I guess the disconnect with the mainstream is that they don't really care now. It's because a lot of rappers are looked at as entertainers, and if they're entertaining, it's like more so like a movie.
I think the downside though is I feel like Gunna, because he's in a certain bracket of rapper, like I don't think he's a Cole Kendrick where he has this other fan base, which I'm sure he does to a extent, but nowhere near to the extent those guys have. Like I'm pretty sure he has some sort of a street fan base. It could damage his career because now we're not looking at him like, okay, yeah, you went to the other side of that situation.
We all saw, regardless of how hard 6ix9ine tries. I mean, we all saw that.
Yeah, and it's done. I mean, you could show all the money in the world. That don't mean we're gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, music career is done.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how the Boston Richie shit plays out.
I wasn't too big on Boston. Like, I don't think I've ever heard a Boston Richie song, but I did see the Future shit where apparently he was on tour with Future and
he signed a Future.
Damn.
Yeah, he signed a Future.
And they found paperwork, and now he's off the tour or some shit.
I don't know if you know the end of the watch series with 1090 Jake. He's a YouTuber, white fella. That basically he does like a bunch of like street beef, kind of like Trap Lord Russ. If you ever watched him,
nah.
No, Trap Lord Russ. You'd like his videos. I'll send you the O Block link. Watch it when you get a chance. It's really interesting. Speaking of O Block, we'll get on that later. But yeah, 1090 Jake basically found some paperwork, I guess. And Florida artist got signed to Kodak Black recently. He started talking, saying, "Yo, we didn't forget so and so. You tattled on me." Got some paperwork for that, and then some other paperwork comes out as a juvenile. And I mean, we'll see. 1090 Jake says they're waiting for the interrogation video to be processed. I assume if that comes out, then he's done basically before his career got started. So.
Damn, I mean, I did hear I seen his name around. I just never clicked on. It's a couple young guys that I just never felt like listening to, but he was definitely one of them. And I was like, damn, that's unfortunate because he ain't reached me at my old age of 30. But
it's a Florida guy.
Yeah, that definitely sucks. That sucks. I mean, but again, if that's the life you rapping about, and you talking about holding up to that standard, especially when you saying snitching, blah, 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 all in your raps, it's kind of crazy when you go back on that.
It's tough because it's one of those. It's funny because I do kind of feel bad for the guy, but if he tattled, he tattled. But it's one of those situations like the Corvette kid.
That was salty.
To where once he got on, it's pretty much that, to where it's a situation from when he was like 16, 17. So now you're 27, you finally hit. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
What I did as a kid, jam me up. So
yeah,
it's what it is. It's unfortunate. Where else do you want to
go? What else I had? The cop. Did you see the cop chick getting trained by the whole police force? Oh, allegedly. I don't. Let's not put no smut on her name. What was it? 6 or 7 officers?
Dude, there's 6. There is a very double standard when it comes to this, and I keep seeing girls post like the 6 cops that train her. It's like, look at these cops, happy because they're not getting memes made about them and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it is what it is, dog. Like, John was getting banked.
On duty.
She was getting banked, and her husband said he's sticking beside her. PMBJ, dog.
you know, like, first off, 6 or 7 ran up in it. That's. And then saying you gonna stay with her, bro.
Pussy must be.
You gotta be a faucet, dog.
Oof, faucet. That's a waterfall.
Running down her leg, bro. Like something made right.
Dude, she was knocking everybody down now.
Oh yeah, that's bad, man. That's a bad.
Here's the thing, too, bro. I don't give a fuck. If the cops fuck each other, I don't care.
Me neither. I think it is weird. I think it is a firewall offense. Who the fuck am I to say a firewall offense? But it is fucked up. She doing this shit on duty.
That's the shit.
Like, protect the people.
Yeah,
Wait till that shit off the
like,
work.
be a regular. I wasn't fucking girls at Acme. You like, you
Right.
gotta wait till your shift's over, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
You could. Yeah. I don't.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't let me fucking tax pay for your fucking.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I'm paying for you to get gangbanged? What is this? I don't buy pussy. What are we doing here?
You going crazy. And then did you see the video they put out of her on the bull and shit? Internet is crazy, bro. Talk about she do know how to ride though, don't she? Internet is out of fucking pocket, yo. Like you can't win, you can't fucking lose, man.
No, that shit's nuts.
What else?
Other shit that came out before we got into the rap shit, I wanted to touch on the report that the FBI came out with King Von shit to where he had 50,000 on FBG Duck's head and then he raised it to 100, and then after they killed him, he came through and gave everybody customized dough blockchains.
How does that make you feel as a Duck fan?
I love Duck, man. I think Duck was a dope guy. Like, if you watch his interviews, I think you would like him as well. It's like I don't think he was as like. Here's the shit: is I don't know who killed who and who did what. He doesn't seem as senseless into the violence as the rest of the people were. Like he talked this shit, but he seemed very much on like I'm going to take care of my family. I'm doing this to put people in position. But the reality is, when you guys are born in certain situations and there's like it's very easy on the outside to look in and say, why can't you guys squash it? Everybody's rich. The reality is people's cousins, brothers, friends start getting killed. There's only one way back to get that revenge. I don't give a fuck how wealthy you are, how well you're doing, like whatever it may be. Like the King Von situation in Atlanta where they got to that John and now they're saying that he killed that guy. That's dumb shit. That's stupid shit. But if you're killing somebody on revenge of your dead homies or your mans, I don't have anything to say to that.
Right. Because what can you really say to it? I guess speaking of shit that been made public, did you listen to the 21 Savage Clubhouse clip?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that like everybody's like, was it smart to say? No. I mean, why do you say that? Like, why do you feel the need to say that? As a human, I understand that emotion. I understand to be like, hear people publicly say this, and I know we're fucking plummeting you.
Yeah.
Like, I know we're destroying you, and you're up here talking about this.
Right.
Bro, shut the fuck up. All your friends are dead.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Why are you publicly shaming me and like, what are you getting out of this? How many more people do we have to kill? I get those emotions. That makes sense. It's just tough because like, I don't know, man. It's tough to be famous. That's what I'll say.
It's gotta be because I mean, even with 21, it was like a situation where he was squashing beefs. Like he was like telling people to chill or relax or calm down from situations. And all I know is whatever dude said to him to get him to talk like that on a public platform had him fucking hot.
Yeah.
And I don't think we heard what the whole I didn't hear the whole conversation. I heard like a minute and a half clip, but whatever the fuck the dude said to him to get him to get to that point where you gotta say what's really going on, it's had to be serious, but I didn't expect that from Tony.
And like I just said on the Duck shit, I don't know what their like real beef is. You know, like I don't know. Like he said that's all you drop, blah blah blah. I don't know who the person on 21 side that got dropped was. Like I don't know. Like, but when it gets to that point, it's hard. Like it's a different level of being a bigger man. If you lose a fight and you can walk away, like I don't know. Like I know you've never like you don't get in a shit ton of fights. You're not that like violence kind of guy, but like there's a level of pride that makes it hard to walk away from a beef if you lost a fight in. I can't imagine walking away from some shit I lost a friend in. So
I mean, how could you, especially when you wrapped up in that life? How could you? Your brain not even trained to walk away from no shit like that.
And to King Von's point or credit, it sounds like he was kind of a dickhead violence wise and whatever, like he didn't know any better. But to his credit, if I now all of a sudden have unlimited resources to make sure I get my revenge, you're fucking right I'm getting it. Like you're fucking right I'm getting it.
But I mean,
if I were to get a fucking text that says, yo, he's in Montclair, I can send 20 minutes somebody to kill him. Yeah. Yep.
Even the people that didn't like him respected his gangster.
You got to.
And it wasn't they knew he wasn't the one to play with. So yeah, I mean, even some shit like that is like, be careful who your enemies is.
Hey, buddy.
And don't underestimate anybody as well.
Good, bad, or indifferent. You don't have to like it, but people respect authenticity. If you
That's
are what
it.
you say you are, you got to respect it.
That's it. I mean, that's what basically attracted us to that whole side of Chicago.
100%.
This shit is real.
100%.
We like this shit. We love real shit. And if we know anything about America, we love violence.
It's the same reason people like reality TV. You know, it's not real. People like to see raw emotion. They like to see what's actually transpiring.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, it's a fucked up situation. Hopefully 21 doesn't get in any, like, I'm sure he was embarrassed about it, honestly, when he heard
yeah. At this point, he's like, why the fuck was I even entertaining that dumbass shit? But, I mean, that's some shit that you grow from, and he'll probably chill out off that shit, but it's definitely a learning experience, and he probably got a call from one of his big homies like, come on, bro, you know better than that. It ain't really much to say to him, because I feel like if you've heard 21 speak in the past year, he's matured, and it's like he know what he doing. And I mean, looking back, he probably like, yeah, that was some dumb shit, but he might have felt like that shit had to be said at the same time, depending on what this dude said to him.
Yeah, 100%. I got some quick hits from our basically producer now, Dex.
All right, let's knock them out.
Do we still value our parents' opinions on big life decisions, purchases, anything like a major move?
It's fucked up to say, but I'll say to a certain extent. Like I'll ask for an opinion. I don't even know if I ask for an opinion. I'll just say this is what's happening. Because I don't really ask for opinions from many people, honestly. I'm more of a, oh, this was happening. Whether you cool with it or not, that's on you. This was happening. I got to an age where I was like, I'm making my decisions, and if I fall on my face, let me fall on my face so I can learn from it. But this is what's happening.
I value, like, I still call my mom if I'm about to make a big move and what's it called, and I value her consulting me. But at this point, and probably majority of my adult life, I have enough confidence in myself to make big decisions.
Yeah, I don't know when I got to that age. Shit, I think I always said when I started paying my own fucking bills, I was like, if I'm making a decision, it's gonna be my fucking decision. I'm here, I'm down to hear what you got to say about it, but I don't think I've been persuaded into a decision in over a decade.
Now, if it's something I don't have experience with, then yeah, I'll consult and I'll value that opinion. Like, let's say when I get married, I'm not familiar with the process. I'll ask my mom, what's the process of that? What's the different jones of that? I know when I was younger financially, Kevin was really savvy with his finances. So I'd ask him, like, yeah, when I'm about to buy a car, or I'm thinking about buying a house, I do that. But yeah, for the most part, I do my own research on it, and I'm comfortable enough to make those own decisions.
Yeah, I'm definitely a dive in, and if I fall, I fall. I'm a big boy. I'll be able to wipe the dust off my knee, man.
Is there any public figures that got canceled that we've secretly forgiven? Oh, I don't.
I would like to see a list of people that have gotten canceled. I did see Bill Cosby's going back on tour. I don't know how that's gonna go.
That's interesting.
But yeah, did Michael Jackson get canceled? I don't think so. But if he did, I didn't get the memo, and he's not canceled.
Got canceled for a little bit. I'm not a Canon guy, but I didn't care about that. They were trying to cancel Russell Simmons for a while.
Yeah, he just moves out the country and said "fuck y'all," and then pops up wherever he wants to. So good luck catching Russ. But
honestly, the Baby got canceled. I never canceled him.
Who?
The Baby.
Oh, I didn't care enough about the Baby to even.
I didn't cancel. Like, I still his intro on one of those albums is one of my favorite songs. I still listen to that.
Okay.
It's actually a really good song. If you never listened to it, it's not like his regular.
I think I know what you're talking about off the Kirk album.
Yeah.
Talking about his brother and dad and all that shit.
His brother ended up.
No, I know that song.
Why's that?
Because his name is fucking John, and he said it in the song. So I'm like, all right.
It was. His brother ended up passing too, like I think last year.
Yeah.
That was. I had a question from him and Jade in our chat. Do you have an age limit on what you would date?
Do I have an age limit? First number that came to my mind was 22, but then I said probably 24 and up.
See, I've talked to some.
And
Yeah, I've talked to some.
oldest probably 40.
I've talked to some girls in like the 21 to 24. I'm too old for that shit, man. I just don't have the energy for that. 26, 27 is probably as low as I'll go at this point.
I ain't mad at that.
I don't want to group people in because like if I meet somebody on the same page as me at 24, I'm not gonna throw it away. Older, if I had a kid, I don't think I would necessarily have that much of an age limit, like probably like 42, 43. Since I don't have a kid, and there's like obviously you would have to want one. If we're like if I'm dating you, you have to want kids at this point.
Right.
Probably 36.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. It's funny. I work with a young dude. He's 26 now, and just listening to you say that, the differences in 4 years drastically different.
It's a lot, man.
Drastically different.
I've chatted with the
motherfucker told me that he enjoyed 6ix9ine, but didn't like Kendrick. I was like, you know what? You young motherfuckers is different.
And you got
and I can't. More power to you, bro.
And I think a lot of it's mentally too, because me and you may be, I don't want to say more established than most, or at our age, we're pretty established in where we are in life as far as security. And you got to think 25, 24, 26 is a very much like finding yourself age. And some people have it all the way together. Don't get me wrong. Like I chatting with the 26-year-old last year, was dating for a little bit, and she had it together. Like she was secure, but like for the most part, I think that's a very much finding yourself age.
And the funny shit is about that, like that age group, and how you saying finding yourself. It's like I want to get this young dude a pep talk, but I'm like, he don't want to hear this preachy shit.
No, fuck no.
He don't want to hear this preachy shit. But it's like I just see what he doing, and I'm just like, damn, I'm at that age where I'm like observing, like, bro, you need to be moving like this and not like that. And I'm just sitting here biting my tongue because I'm like, I ain't like to be preached to at that age. Definitely not by nobody 4 years older than me and shit. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like, it's just frustrating to see.
What's funny with that is I'm trying to get out of that myself to where like sometimes you get in your own head of like, yo, I don't want to look like this. I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to come off as preaching. I don't want to like do this. And like, for sure they could take it as like, yeah, who the fuck is this guy who talked to me when he's 4 or 5 years older than me? But I look back at it now, a lot of like advice I got that maybe I wasn't welcome to and go, wow, that was really good advice.
I think for me, as far as giving it is, it's more so a work situation. It's not necessarily an organic situation. So it's like, I don't want to be the preachy nigga at work. Yeah. But if we was hooping and we just chopped it up one day, that's different. And we got a common interest in something. But I'm not about to be the random old nigga at work and just trying to give you game and shit and you not receiving it and shit. But I mean, as far as it go, good kid, but I feel like the right old head get him straight.
Had another one is, could you be friends with a guy that wasn't taking care of his kid? Surface level, no.
Yeah, surface level, no. And here go that friend word again. Because when I say friends, I be having like minimal friends and shit.
Limit, yes.
But but when you say friend, like, I think to me, because I was about to say, how would I know this person not taking care of their kid? But I guess if that's my quote unquote friend and how good of friends you are, I guess you would know. But it's friends that you could have and you don't. They could talk about their kid all day, but you wouldn't know they're not doing nothing.
100%. If I had a kid and I was an absentee father, you know it, would you still be friends with me?
Nah, I'll be fucked up.
Yeah, be fucked up. It's a character.
Because I know, like, if especially the friendship we got, I would probably know the baby mom. I would know the child. I'd be like, bro, when the last time you?
What are you doing?
Yeah. Basically, that's really what you asking. What are you doing?
Yeah, surface level, not a shot. Like if you knowingly have a kid and you don't participate in their life, I think you're a scumbag and not a friend of mine.
Right.
But also, like if you're a friend of mine in that situation, we'd have those chats though. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what's the issue here? And sometimes it's a little more complex than that. I've had a few chats with like friends over the years with that kind of situation too. Like, yo, like sometimes you got to go to court.
Yeah,
that is an inconvenience and whatnot, but it's your fucking kid. So like, yo, instead of
crying about it, that one chance with that one kid.
And the flip side of that is I've had some friends go to court. It's not that fucking easy.
Hell no.
And it doesn't always work out in their favor.
Hell no.
And the spin-off to that question was, does paying child support constitute, or is paying child support considered taking care of your kid? If you think just cutting a check every month is enough to do your part, I think you're wildly misconstruing what fatherhood is.
And I got an opposite opinion on that. I would say, yeah. Especially if the child's mother isn't allowing you to see the child. Because, I mean, for what it's worth, we got to stop acting like that's not going on as well.
Oh, 100%.
Because that is going on. They taking a check, and no, you can't see them, whether you got visitation rights or not. I mean, I've seen Facebook posts of people that I was close to in certain situations where they may sit outside their baby mama house for hours, call the police, nothing could go on. You got court papers proving shit, still can't see your kid. What could you really say?
And that's why I kind of say this with the protection of surface level. Because surface level, yeah, if you pay child support and you knowingly don't want to be around your kid because you pay child support and you think that's enough, you're a loser. There is a lot of situations where it's a lot more complex. A lot more complex. And
people may have full custody. Gotta go through you to see their child. You can say, I want to see him Sunday at 3 p.m. The mom or the dad, whoever got the custody, ain't got shit going on, but nah, we got something to do. And it's just out of spite and still collecting the check at the same time. So,
and I wasn't this wasn't on the joint, but just talking, it kind of reminds me of Akon's interview a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And they were talking to him about Nick Cannon. And they were saying, like, yo, how do you feel? I don't know why they were asking Akon about Nick Cannon, but like, yo, how do you feel about Nick Cannon? He's got like his 12th kid, whatever. And he was like, yeah, it's dope. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, reproduce. And the woman interviewer said, but like, can you be a good father with that many kids? Because you're spread so thin. He said, yeah, like he's got the resources, he's paying for it, so-and-so, so-and-so. And she's like, yeah, but you can't like make all the events, do the dance recital, so-and-so. And Akon got a lot of backlash for it, but he said, that's white people shit. You don't have to be at the baseball games and the receptions and shit. You don't, that's not like, that's illusion. You don't have to do that.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't even like how he said that's white people shit, because he also be saying that he also separates Africans from Black Americans. So I don't even know what he means by that. I don't know if all this shit that go on over here in America go on in Africa as well, but the way he separate Blacks and Africans at the same time, I ain't got time to hear that shit.
But if a stereotype for white people is being present in your kid's life, I'll take that one. That's the first one I'll take.
And what I don't know why Akon think all white dads is in their lives. Like, what the fuck is going on, bro?
I promise you they're not.
What the fuck is going on? Like,
I can promise you they're not.
That's kind of, yeah. Shout out to Akon, I guess.
Yeah, I think that idea of financially supporting your kid without being present in their life is a lot more damning and damaging than people realize.
Yeah, the presence of your body is way more than that. Gonna go way more than that money gonna go.
100%. 100%. You want to get into random thoughts? Wrap it up.
Yeah. HBO Max done it again.
Mute.
Yeah, HBO Max did it again. Dropped the first episode of Last of Us. I told you check it out before the pod, but I'm gonna bring it to the pod. And I need all the people to go check that out. First episode, shit long. It's like an hour 10. First episode gonna fuck you up. And it's one of those episodes where it's like, okay, I'm gonna keep watching this shit because now I gotta see what happens. Because it's such a curveball that get thrown at you. Big ass plot twist. You're like, oh, I'm in. It's one of those type joints.
I'll have to give it a go. I was gonna talk about inflation a little bit today because you really feel it at the grocery store now.
Oh, it's disgusting. Price of eggs, and that's one of my favorite foods, is fucked up.
Yeah, it's crazy. What if I can say you like to hear frying skin? Like,
yeah. That was the crazy. And then I took his suggestion on one of my favorite foods and got the nastiest eggs I've ever gotten. Like, no, we ain't doing that far.
Oh, but it's my niece's birthday this weekend. She turns 15, so shout out to Annabelle. Which is fucking crazy that she's 15, dog. That's nuts. We're getting old. Like, like 15, bro. Like, in context, we became friends at 15.
Yeah.
So, like, that's nuts. Like, absolutely nuts. and she got her first job at Taco Bell, and I'm like, I'm curious. I'm like, well, what does it pay? Like, I started acting at $7.25. It's like $13.50 a fucking hour. Could
That's
you imagine
insane.
how rich you would be in high school,
That's
dog?
insane, bro.
Yo,
That's insane.
yo, come on,
I
bro.
think I worked. I can't even remember how long I worked. I remember my first check was 30 or 140, and I'm like, damn. But I couldn't imagine. Yeah, I couldn't imagine working that and working half the hours to get 140 in high school. But that was 2 week check.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a 2 week check.
My weekly Acme checks were between like 80 and 120 every week. And one week was I worked Christmas, which was double pay, and I had like I had like 35 hours. You had to stay under 40 to be part time, and I had like a $230 check. I was fucking up,
Could
dog.
you imagine
I was
getting a
fucking
buck
up.
a week in high school?
It's crazy. And
You getting
even back then, you think about inflation now, but back then, bro, like I was doing something with them $100 checks.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
And you only needed 20 to fill the tank for the week.
I remember my first one. I was like, oh, I'm fucking up. Like you said, you still in high school. I was 18 when I got my first job though. But I'm like, yo, I'm not even going, I'm up. I'm up. You just knowing you got money, it's a different feeling when you make your first dollar.
Oh, there's nothing better than being able to provide for yourself.
Nothing at all, man.
Well, I don't understand like leeches and shit. Like, there's no better feeling than being able to provide for yourself.
Nah, knowing you put in work and you earned every dollar you got, everything in your house, you pay for it. Like this shit, my shit, it's a different feeling.
But maybe I don't know. Like maybe when you have kids, so like it's better to provide for them. But currently, there's nothing better than having ownership of your life. For sure.
Not at all, man.
All right, man. I'm all good. Is that everything?
That's Views from the Chair, man. Until next time.
Next week.